Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 rounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is Friday. Hope you are having a great morning. Ben McKee, Jason Swain here, live from the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee, Seth Stokes, Jason Swain. Stokes, good morning, guys. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, fellas. How we doing today?
Wonderful. Fantastic, man. 100%, 110%.
Good morning, gentlemen.
110.
110. 110%. 110. Billy Bob style, man. Rest in peace.
Right.
Ben, I just want to let you know, man. Hope you have a great morning.
I hope you have a better morning.
You're brilliant. You're amazing, Ben. Just want to let you know that, man.
I don't know about all that.
You're just awesome, man. You're just an awesome guy. Just want to let you know that, Ben. Another thing I want to let you know, Ben, that, man, you look great today. Very handsome. You're a handsome fella, man.
This doesn't make up for your behavior yesterday morning. Stokes, Swain was a bad friend yesterday.
I thought I was a great friend.
Well, you always think that you are, but in reality, you're not sometimes, just like yesterday morning.
So.
No, I'm explaining it in my words.
Please go ahead. I can't wait to hear this. Go
Okay.
ahead. Hey, Stokes. He work with VolQuest now, man. You gotta. Hey, he is on another level now, so you can tell the attitude is different.
Says the
This
person.
is the Ben McKee show with Jason.
Exactly.
Swain.
Exactly.
Says the person.
Sponsored by VolQuest.
Says the person who has his own radio show with his name on it, doing it by himself.
I know.
Says the person who is on TV during the fall. Says the person who does multiple media appearances throughout the week. Says the person who does no longer sit amongst the peasants at Neyland Stadium. The only time he goes is when he can sit in the box.
Look, man, if you ever sat in that box, you'd understand why.
I understand why. But you and I don't get invited on a regular basis.
Stokes was invited last time he came to the game.
That was once.
The last time.
Last time ever.
That's what he remembers.
And if he came to a game this fall, he probably ain't sitting in the box. You will be sitting in the box.
Stokes sat in there with me last time.
Wednesday night, my New York Yankees threw a no-hitter. My Memphis Grizzlies knocked off the Spurs in the first play-in game. And so I wore my Ja Morant jersey yesterday. I know you're anti-jersey, but that wasn't the center of the conversation. The center of the conversation was me after having a great night, one of the best nights of my life. Grizzlies winning a playoff game, Yankees throwing a no-hitter. Don't tell my wife that I said that, but I come in the next morning, yesterday morning, first thing Swain says is, "Did you get dressed in the dark? Did you get dressed in the dark? You don't even match with that undershirt. You know you're." And then he goes in about how my Grizzlies are going to get beat in on Friday. So, being a bad friend that he is, being an instigator, a hater, he doesn't have my let me have my moment under the sun, Stokes.
Ben.
He started throwing shade before anything else.
Ben. Are you being sensitive?
I didn't bring it up. Swain brought it up. So if I was sensitive, I think I would have been the one that brought it up.
Yeah, it sounds like you holding on to it, man.
I didn't hold, but
You're
if I was
holding
holding,
on to it.
nope.
I hear the anger in
He's
your
hurt.
voice.
Nope.
He's hurt like Kwame Brown.
No, y'all can spin this, and y'all can have y'all's old people vibe against the young one.
Oh,
but
man. I'm not saying anything.
Swain brought it up this morning. I did not. That's why Swain was being overly nice. Swain's gonna play.
Because you matching today.
Look good. Swain's gonna play it off as he didn't bring anything up and he forgot about it, but he was making those overly nice comments at the very top of the show to try and be funny and be the opposite of what he was yesterday morning. So
you was the opposite yesterday.
You brought it up.
You matching today.
You brought it up. If I was sensitive, if I was upset, if I was still holding on to it, I would have been the one that brought it up.
You talking about it.
Because you brought it up.
Hey, Ben, do you want me to be your friend or do you want me to be your husband or wife?
Neither. None of the above.
Because
I want you to be
you want me to honor that you had a good night the day before and not tell you the truth about how you had on a forest green undershirt, long sleeve with a Memphis Grizzlies jersey, and there wasn't now forest green in that jersey. You ain't a Milwaukee Bucks fan. You a Memphis Grizzlies fan. As a friend, I told you off the air, hey, man, you know them colors don't match, right? That's why I asked you if you got dressed in the dark. It was a joke to let you know that them colors ain't vibing together.
You was hating on the Grizzlies. That's what you're doing. What you did yesterday is the equivalent of if I came in the morning after the Bears drafted Justin Fields with their number 1 overall pick. What you did would have been the equivalent of me coming in and the first comment out of my mouth being, well, Justin Fields is going to be the next quarterback in the long line of quarterbacks to play for the Bears that hasn't thrown for 4,000 yards. Of course, the Bears got the quarterback in the first round that everybody questions whether he puts in enough work, whether he can even go through his progressions.
You hear the pain, Stokes.
Of course, the Bears drafted the next Dwayne Haskins.
Why are you in your feelings?
If
like
I
this,
came
man?
in and was talking like that, you would label me as a hater. You would. You would label me as a hater. That's what you did yesterday morning.
He's hurt, man. It's okay, Stokes. He's hurt, man. Let him go. Let him get it all out, man. Let him get that pain out of his heart.
And Stokes, why don't you be quiet over there
See?
and worry about your Falcons drafting Kyle
But my
Pitts
Falcons
and then
is
trading
sorry.
Julio
I
Jones
know
when
this.
Justin Fields was on the board?
I know what real sports pain is. My Falcons gave up a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl.
He's hurt, man. He's hurt, Stokes. It's okay. It's okay, Ben. Just talk through it, man.
You brought it up.
Let it out. Let it out. It's okay, man. Let it out. That way you can feel good about Tennessee getting this sweep this weekend, man. Tennessee baseball.
And now you got people in the text box thinking that I'm being serious.
You finished or you done?
You brought
You
it up.
acting real brand new to hanging out with Jason Swain.
That's my point, man. Ben, ever since he been with VolQuest, man, you can't tell him nothing. He's acting brand new, man. He feeling himself, man. He got a little attitude. And I love it. I think it's hilarious. I love it, man. I love it. I love the new
news.
Ben.
This is all fake news.
I love the new Ben, man.
Y'all
He's
get-
buff
y'all
now.
Y'all
He's
get y'all
bald.
jokes off.
Man, he's feeling himself, man. I love it, man. Thank you, Austin Price and Brent Hubs, man. This dude right here is a brand new person. I love this brand new Ben. So much swag, so much attitude. He's so sassy this morning. He's so
I'm
he's
not.
so sassy and spicy. I love it.
When you go to practice, Ben, you go hang out with the little VolQuest clique over there on the sideline.
You know they're gonna do their handshake.
Yeah, that way I don't have to.
Throwing up gang sons. VQ. What colors you wearing? What colors you wearing? This VQ over here. This is my block, homie. This is my block. What you doing? Knox News Sentinel? Get out my block. 247. This is our block, homie. Gonna jump you. We run this. We clicked up over here. Do the VolQuest walk. Do the V walk. Hit the V walk on him. Oh man. Yo, man. If we can get an Anchorman remake of Knoxville News Media and get Ben in there throwing hands, man, that would be hilarious. Oh man. It's Friday. It is Friday.
Hey, there was a time when it got pretty scary in the beat writer football team media streets several years ago.
I know, man. I know. Oh, dude. Oh, man. What a start to the morning. What a start to the show. I got a question for you, though. I had a really good question on Twitter yesterday from a follower, and I thought it would be perfect for conversation today, especially with us three together. And questions from John Shaver on Twitter. I'm gonna need John Shaver. I need you to get a Twitter profile. They don't even do the egg anymore, man. This got like just a empty circle. Twitter don't even do the egg anymore. I'm gonna need John to get a profile picture. But anyways, he says, in your opinion, have we improved more via the transfer portal, or lost ground, or broke even? Tennessee adds another player from Michigan. And I don't know about y'all, man. I feel like Brian John Marie escaped Michigan. It was like, I gotta go. I promise I'm gonna come back and get y'all. I'm gonna come back and save some of y'all too. I'm gonna come back and save y'all. Just hold tight. I gotta escape first. I gotta be the first one to get out. And then when I get out, I'm gonna come back and save y'all. And he came back and he went back and saved Joe Milton. And now Tennessee is getting more players from Michigan. Tennessee added another defensive player from the transfer portal. And what's that, two this week? But Michigan linebacker William Mohan announced that he's coming to Tennessee. So the question for you guys is, do you feel like we have improved more, lost ground, or just broke even with the guys that left the program over the last couple weeks and months? Stokes, I'll start with you.
I mean, it's hard to say because we haven't seen those guys play for Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
But like from the dudes that we lost, not saying they weren't good players, not talented players, but they were part of a defense that couldn't stop a slant, couldn't get to the quarterback, couldn't quit giving up big touchdowns and big moments. So it's hard to say that we're going to get that we lost ground. But I don't know. Honestly, it's a tough question. We got to see what these guys do when when they're playing for Tennessee, because Michigan wasn't really anything to write home about either. So, I mean, it's you're adding pieces. You took pieces away from a bad defense, and they're transferring to other places. You're adding pieces from a bad defense that's transferring into Tennessee. So maybe a new fit will, new location, maybe it's a good fit down here in Knoxville for them, and they'll flourish. They'll get better coaching. We'll see. It's early right now to say we improved or lost ground. It's all, conjecture. But you took two teams that have been struggling, and some players left one team, players left another team, and well, I don't know. I'm very, very much in show me mode before I start saying, oh yeah, we improved. We added bodies. We needed bodies. We improved in the fact that we added bodies because we needed them. We got guys we can rotate in. So that's a plus. But as far as what kind of impact they're going to make, I don't know.
The way I look at it is that Tennessee has made up for all the guys it lost with all of the additions that Josh Heupel and his staff have made over the last 2 months. I don't know whether they'll be better. I don't know whether they'll be worse. I don't think it can get worse. And when you break it down position by position, I definitely think the quarterback room got better. Even if Harrison Bailey or Brian Maurer starts, the quarterback room still got better because I simply think that Joe Milton has the potential to be better than Jarrett Garantano and J.T. Shrout. And that's not even taking into consideration the addition of Hendon Hooker. So overall, I think Tennessee has just been able to make up for all of the guys that it lost, and I think that's just as important of anything, just simply because of how many guys they did lose to the transfer portal and to other schools. They were going to be well below the scholarship limit and how many guys that you can have on a team. I mean, they were going to be well under that number, and Tennessee's already going to be battling a talent discrepancy amongst them and some other teams in the league. The last thing they needed was to battle that talent discrepancy on top of not even having a full roster or even close to a full roster. So I think the fact that they've been able to go out and get more bodies than we initially anticipated is good, just to continue to fill out the roster. And then when you get into the individual player, it does seem like each can have a legitimate impact. So I'm with Seth. I think it's a little too early to say Tennessee got worse, Tennessee got better, but I think the most important part is that Tennessee has replaced the bodies that left, and some of them appear to be better players than what Tennessee had before. So we'll see.
If I had to pick upgrade or broke even or simply just fell short of making up the ground that was lost with all the players, excuse me, that have left, I would say break even. From a talent standpoint, I will say you're falling short. Because I think it's the reason why these guys have left other schools. Not saying they're not talented, but they're not top-level starters, all-conference players, except for Juwan Mitchell. And are just going to go straight to the league after this year. So I think when you look at the departure of Key Lawrence, Eric Gray, Wanye Morris, I mean, those are very talented guys that were young. And I think time will show that inside of a more positive culture and some coaching, that those guys are going to be some all-conference players and have a chance to play at the next level. So from a talent standpoint, I think, we are falling short as far as being able to replace that. But from a culture standpoint, I think you have upgraded. So you fell short in the talent category, but you have upgraded in bringing in guys that you can coach up and be at one team. So I think it washes out to be a break-even scenario. So I think this team is going to play more together. Josh Heupel can now treat everyone the same as far as just a fairness. I mean, you treat every player fair, but you don't treat every player the same as a coach. But now I think Heupel can do that because the guys that were used to getting special perks for coming here and causing some culture issues with, guys being held accountable, that's no longer a problem. So, yeah, this team may not be as talented, but they'll play together more. They'll hold each other more accountable. And I think we'll see some leadership be developed out of here, to be honest. So it's a great question. I think time will tell. I know Stokes and Ben, you guys said, it's really hard to say right now because these guys haven't played yet. So you're kind of forecasting. But just pure talent, I think we lost more than we gained. But I think we gained more than we lost in the leadership and culture category. So for me, it's a wash. It's a wash. But it's a good pickup for Tennessee. And I truly feel like Michigan and Harbaugh is like Gilligan's Island or something. You remember watching Gilligan's Island back in the day, Stokes?
Oh, yeah.
I used to watch Gilligan's Island. I said, man, y'all got all these buildings and doing all this stuff, but y'all still can't get off this island? Y'all done came up with all these resources to survive on the island, but can't get off the island. But I feel like Harbaugh was like his program and him is like Gilligan's Island. And like one person escaped and trying to go back and save others. I mean, if you just really pay attention closely, and listen, we know a bad setup when we see one. Like we have seen the clues in previous staffs. We've seen it with Butch. We've seen, the head coach get up to the podium and basically tell us that a young man with a swollen eye, as if he got hit by something, had felt in practice, an athlete, a scholarship 5-star athlete, that he just tripped and fell on a helmet. This is what he told us. This is what he told us.
He ran to the door.
We've seen the signs of dysfunction inside of a football program, inside of a football locker room. We've seen it. We've seen it with Butch Jones. We've seen it with Jeremy Pruitt. We know what it looks like. Michigan, y'all got some issues. They've had coaches leave. They've had players leave. And this is our fourth Michigan either player or coach in the last 2 or 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, Ben. You got a coach, linebackers coach. You got a quarterback, Aubrey Solomon. And then our latest linebacker transfer. What do they call him? What's his nickname? What do you say his nickname was? Because he's like part Indian. What do you say? Apache is his nickname? Is that what they call him? I think that's what he said.
I don't know. I did not see his nickname.
Oh, I thought I read it on the VolQuest.
Well, you're not currently on VolQuest.
That's probably why that's why I probably can't reference it then. Let me get over here to VolQuest then. I think I saw when Austin Price talked to him, or some quotes from Austin Price that he said that his teammates called him Apache because he was Indian, something like that. Anyways, but you added him too.
Yep.
And that's
Apache.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
The reason they call me that is because I am Indian and I always had a mohawk, and I play warrior style. So
Warrior
mohawk plays like a warrior, and he's Indian. So his nickname is Apache. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hope I am as well.
Can they call him that? I'm just joking. He likes it. He embraces it. Let's roll. He's 200 pounds, playing outside linebacker. And
I think you're going to see him used in multiple ways.
Yeah.
In the Tennessee defense.
Maybe he's that
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. Maybe he's that. Maybe he's the new Sean Sandberger. Maybe. I mean, he's 200 pounds. Maybe he's that edge guy that can cover in space. But he's going to bring some speed, and that's what this team needs. More overall speed. That was a theme when Pruitt and company first got here. It's going to continue to be a theme because you got to have it in the SEC. This staff got a plan, man. This staff got a plan.
I want to say, like I said, it's hard to say that if we got better or not. And I agree with you about it being a wash. I can see that side of it. But I will say, this staff is making Tennessee an attractive place for people to come.
Yeah.
I don't know what the pitch is, but you got guys that, I'm not saying they could have went anywhere else, because obviously not all schools are open for business on the transfer portal for just anybody. But they're picking Tennessee for a reason.
Yep. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Swain Event, be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill, or call 865-693-5400.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential.
JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Seth Stokes, Ben McKee, live here from the Low T Center studio. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. NC Vol. Swain is good. Most of the transfers have multiple years available. That's the plan. Do you see it, Stokes? Do you see the plan, Ben? Do you see the plan unveiling?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting guys in that they can.
Anybody doing the show today? Do y'all see the plan?
It seems pretty clear.
But yeah, they have to. Just like I talked about at length last segment, Tennessee had so many transfers leave that they have to go out and get bodies. You're already dealing with a talent discrepancy, but you can't, on top of the talent discrepancy, deal with a significant roster crunch. You don't want to be 20 guys, 25 guys. I don't know what the official number came to be before Heupel started landing transfers, but you can't have a talent discrepancy and a short roster to the point to where you're having to put a long snapper at linebacker in spring practice. Like that, that's not a good combination. Now, we can get into a side conversation whether or not, even though you have 60 to 65 players and the scholarship limit is 85, we can get into a side conversation about bad players leaving and whether you would deal with 65 solid to really good players compared to 75, 80 players still be under that number, and those extra 10 to 15 guys are bad football players. That's an interesting way to look at it, but I still think you would rather have the 70-ish players, even if some of them may not be good players. Just that way you have at least bodies, and again, you don't have to move a long snapper to work at linebacker during spring practice. So I definitely think the plan is coming along as Josh Heupel should, and I like the fact that they're not doing one-for-ones. I mean, they've got a couple, Javonte Payton, Caleb Tremblay, but for the most part, they're guys that they can develop. They can work with for the next 2, 3, 4 years, and they can be football players for Tennessee, good football players for Tennessee over the next 2, 3, 4 years.
I don't know about that big orange machinist who says Heupel going to mess around and build a championship team during a time we can't participate in the postseason. Most Tennessee thing ever. It is the most Tennessee thing ever, man. Tennessee going to mess around and be a whole lot better than what people expect in the first year and possibly be hey, we'll go to a good ball game, but won't go to a good ball game. It sure is the most Tennessee thing ever. But looking at last year's record of 3-7, and then looking at this team and going, man, they may win 1 or 2 more games, or they may be lucky to go 500 this year. Hypo might mess around and do a little bit better than that. And I'm not saying that he's going to win 9 or 10 games, but he may win one more game than what people expect, which is 5-5, and that would be significant for me, for sure. You can see the plan. Now, Hypo hasn't basically come out and shared the PowerPoint and the outline as if he's in a coach's meeting with everybody and laying it out to them. He's not laid it out to us publicly, but you can see some of the comments that he's made about attracting transfers, wanting multi-year guys, also being open to bringing in guys like Ben just said, 1-year guys that feel a need. You can see the plan unfolding. And one thing about the previous staff, and I'm not trying to bash Pruitt. I'm simply trying to crystallize a point, which is why I'm bringing up the previous staff. But the previous staff, under Pruitt's leadership, was a little unorganized. He was a little unorganized, and this is the knock as a first-year head coach is, do you know how to be a head coach? And you have to be organized. You have to, make sure that you lay out a plan, and it's a clear plan. It's a short-term plan. It's a long-term plan. We saw the short-term, long-term plan kind of take fold Butch Jones, a guy that was a previous head coach. We saw a coach who wasn't fail to be as organized as Butch and failed to be as organized as what we're seeing from Josh Heupel. So organization is very, very important. You're seeing a plan that was laid out, and this staff executing the plan. I don't know if they're going to go out here and win, 8 games, 7 games. I don't know that, but I do know that there's a plan, and you're seeing the execution of that plan, which is very, very important. And I think the players see that too. Once the players see that a coach is either unorganized or organized, it's going to impact how they move and how they go about their business. So I don't know how good these players are going to be that's come here, but Stokes, like you just said before the break, you are seeing a staff that is attracting talent.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they're making Tennessee a place people are looking at to play their next bit of football at. So that's it's something that people questioned about the hire. Is he going to be able to recruit? And transfer portal recruiting is still recruiting. And he's getting guys that want to come play at Tennessee. Whether it's they'd be good enough to go play and start elsewhere, that's yet to be determined. But he's getting people in, and I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
You can't just put both feet on the gas like how you drive, Stokes, on the highway. Some people just drive 1 foot either on the gas or on the brakes. You put 2 feet on the gas. We can't put 2 feet on the gas here with the compliments that we're giving, Josh Heupel and the staff, because people will automatically think that we're saying that this staff is going to go out here and win a dang championship in their first year. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you can kind of see the momentum, just a little bit of momentum, just a little bit. You can see it starting to form. Volstorm on the text box says, whose culture was worse, Pruitt or Jones? It's Pruitt's. Yeah, it's Pruitt's culture. It's Pruitt's culture. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, but for me, it's Pruitt's culture. It's his culture. Come on, Volstorm, man. Look at his culture was so bad that the chancellor had to step in and fire everybody. The chancellor didn't do that. The chancellor didn't do that when Butch Jones was here. I think it's Pruitt. I don't think it's really even close.
No, I agree. I don't know if Stokes agrees, but I definitely think that Butch had the worst culture. Pruitt had the worst culture. Butch at least was able to win back-to-back nine games in 2 seasons, back-to-back seasons in which he had 9 wins. You don't reach that point if you have just a terrible culture. Not saying that Pruitt or Butch's culture was good. It wasn't, but comparing Butch's to Pruitt's, Butch's was a much better culture, and that just speaks to how bad and pathetic and miserable Pruitt's culture was. If it was that bad under Butch isn't getting to 9 wins in back-to-back seasons, and we can make fun of Butch and all of his comments and participation trophies, and we can also point out that those teams did underperform, but 9 wins in back-to-back seasons, that's not happening with Pruitt's culture. So I even think the results just speak to which culture was worse. I mean, Tennessee had to fire its head coach because of cheating, and in a normal year would not have been even close to making a bowl game.
Vol Nation says Tennessee officially has a pipeline from Michigan to Knoxville, and I believe we are a little bit better than even due to lack of depth. We have talent, but we won't know until September 2nd or so. Yeah, there's no way I can sit here and say that Tennessee, with the addition of the transfers, that Tennessee is better than they were before, or from a talent standpoint, has basically filled that talent that we lost and broke even in the talent department. But I can say with some of the guys that really no fault of their own per se, like not knowing that maybe they were a reason for some of the culture issues. They simply just, did what Pruitt allowed them to do. They created some issues, and now they're not here. That's going to alleviate some of that, some of those issues, and from a leadership and culture department, we have upgraded there. Which, again, both of them are what you need to be successful. You can have a lot of talent, but if you don't have any leadership and you don't have a positive culture, you're not going to maximize your true abilities. And listen, we saw that honestly the last 4 years. For the last 4 years, we've seen guys be drafted from Tennessee, play in the league, and the record doesn't match. The draft picks and the guys going to the league doesn't match the Tennessee win-loss record. It just doesn't. Well, that's because of the culture. Let's see here. Vol Nation also says, I believe Tennessee has an idea of how many scholarship they will be short of void in 22 and making up for that number with the portal. So far, we have 2 that will count against next year. How many more we go get is an indicator of the desire to win and a possible number of self-imposed NCAA scholarship losses. I thought about that yesterday, Vol Nation, when we brought in Apache. We brought linebacker transfer from Michigan, William Mohan, or Mohan. When we brought him in, I was like, wait. So we're going to really start counting these things towards next year, which I'm totally cool with, because giving me someone who seems like they're run through a brick wall for their position coach, and you can tell by some of his comments here, Austin Price VolQuest article, where William Mohan says, I have a lot of trust in him, referring to Brian John Marie. He knows how I move and how much to get the best out of me. He knows how to use me. I just trust him so much. Those are very strong words. Mm-hmm. I just trust him so much. That's strong, man. That is strong right there. So if you can get a guy like that who should be more mature than most freshmen coming in, physically he's been in the weight room, and he's ready to run through a brick wall for his position coach, guess who's going to be leading by example in that linebacker room? It's going to be him and Juwan Mitchell, the new guys. The new guys going to be leading in that room. And hopefully Jeremy Banks doesn't feel like, oh, this is my territory. I was here first. And he's like, oh, let's do it together. Let me join in. Let's let's shock the world. We lost these 5-star linebackers, 4 5-star linebackers. Let's go. Let's ride. I don't care that you just got here. Oh, you first? You go first, man. Yeah, you deserve it. Like, this linebacker room has a chance to shock some people, man. They really do.
I'll be real curious to see in 2 to 3 years, in hindsight, whether it was smart for Josh Heupel to count ahead to the 2023 class, which is what some of these incoming guys. I don't know for sure that Mohan and the corner from Auburn, I don't know for sure that you have to back count them towards next year's class, because as Austin Price mentioned on the show at some point over the last week or so, for some of them, like it is essentially one guy transfers so you can bring him in.
I don't know if they've changed that rule. They got to change that rule.
I think it depends on if they can play 1 year or not. So I think like Javante Payton, you don't have to worry about him back counting since he'll only be here 1 year, or Caleb Tremblay. But I do think the guys that will be here multiple years, they do count towards next year's class number. We'll have to make sure we ask Austin about that on Tuesday. But I'll be curious to see in hindsight whether that was a smart game plan, or maybe not smart game plan, because I do think it is a smart game plan. Let's see if it works out, because on one hand, you would like to get some high school players in here, guys that you can have 3, 4, 5 years. But on the other hand, although I feel like most people who think rationally realize that Josh Heupel, although fans don't want to hear about patience and giving a coach time, Josh Heupel deserves more time than Lane Kiffin, Derek Dooley, Butch Jones, and Jeremy Pruitt. But we also know that if Josh Heupel goes out and loses some of these coin flip games, toss-up games to Pittsburgh, South Carolina, Missouri, if he were to go out and lose those games instead of win those games, although people are willing to give Josh Heupel patience next offseason, there will be some criticism for that. Well, he can't even beat South Carolina or Missouri or Pittsburgh. How's he going to be able to win when he gets talent in here? So my point is that although, yes, Josh Heupel deserves patience, needs as much time as any of the recent coaches Tennessee has hired, he also kind of needs to win now, just to show some early signs of progress. And I think Stokes, by him going out and getting some of these transfers, he's putting himself in better position to win some of those toss-up games.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to have a harder time without him than he is, with him. So you take that much away from the roster, and you've put some of it back. So again, we'll wait and see. But as far as does he? I mean, everybody needs to go win as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a given. But I do think, considering how bad everything has been and how just down people are on the football program at this point, and I mean, there's a little bit of excitement building up, but it's nothing like it typically is. I mean, everybody's kind of in a wait-and-see mode. I do think people – I'm not saying they're going to look at this year as a throwaway year, but I do think he is given a bit more grace this year just because everything's just been so bad. And people realize it a lot more now. I mean, they saw the 3-7, then they saw the supposed talented players, the highly recruited players off of that team leave in bunches, and anybody that expects them to go out and start winning big things year one, they're kind of fooling themselves, because you replace some players, but you don't know. You just don't know. And I think people realize that. So does he need to go out and win? Sure. Yeah. I mean, everybody needs to go out and win. But is it going to be of the utmost importance that he goes out and wins a whole bunch of games this year? I mean, that would be nice. But if that's if you need to see that in order to get on board with him and are going to ignore any sort of improvement if it doesn't equal a W, then I think you're kind of setting yourself up for a big disappointing year.
Y'all know the difference between year one going into year two for Butch and Pruitt was what Ben just talked about. In year one, you had that win against South Carolina. You had that game against Georgia where you were right there. Like, you were right there, and basically one play was the reason why you lost that game against a team that was way better than you. You outplayed them, you outcoached them, but I mean, Pig Howard, that fourth down, well, that wasn't even fourth down, but the goal line extension that was a fumble and a touchback, that's one play. And I think folks realized at that point, like, oh, okay, we might have something here with Butch Jones. And when you did not beat Vanderbilt to be bowl eligible, and that's always tough when you lose that last game of the season, and then you talk about that game all off season. But even when that even with that happening, we still was able to point at games where we either won with less talent or outcoached other teams with less talent, and it made 14 a whole lot better. So you still have some momentum going into 14. Well, losing the first game the way we did against West Virginia, losing to freaking Georgia State, losing to BYU, finding ways to lose in year number two, like basically not having your team prepared. It's one thing to come out a little bit flat against a respectable program like Appy State and just fall a little flat. But the way we lost to Georgia State, man, in the comments that Pruitt had made early in the week talking about getting extra guys in and the second, third string guys getting them reps, that was a clear indication that he didn't have his team ready to play at all. And so you can just kind of tell the difference between Butch's first 2 years and Pruitt's first 2 years. If Heupel can have a game or games in his first year to where he either wins or he outcoaches or outplays a team, maybe still falling a little bit short. But if you can just show that in your first year, man, I think folks will be like, oh, okay, we might have something here. We might have something here. The same way people were with Butch Jones. So first year,
I think at this point it's going to take people a little longer than that.
Yeah, you're
right. Honestly.
You're right.
Just this fan base is beat down. I mean, they are. I've not ever seen this fan base this low. And yeah, I don't expect him to go out and win a bunch of games this year. Do I expect him to be competitive and to play hard for 60 minutes? Like, for me, that's where the bar is right now. Like, just go make an effort for 60 minutes. You didn't have that last year. You didn't have 60 minutes effort. You didn't have 4 quarters of hard-fought, well-played football. You would have a quarter here and there in a game, and then when the time got tough, everybody would just go, let's just get out of here and move on to the next one. And as a fan, it's tough to watch. It's a bad product to watch. Give me something that I'm at least going to – the scoreboard might not end up the way I want it to, but at least the product is fun to watch. The guys are fighting hard, and you can see those improvements being made that are going to lead to W's on the scoreboard. Because you're right. When Butch Jones did have that early, Butch's big problem was he couldn't maintain it. Like, Pruitt got lucky, and that was pretty evident. He got lucky, and then it fell apart real fast. Real fast. With Butch, he built not quickly, but he showed that there was some ability there. He just couldn't maintain it because he's a sleazeball. And people saw through his bullcrap and didn't want to be around him. And he cared way too much about what everybody else thought about him. He tried to make it all about him. And that was his big downfall. Like, if you can give me what we had, that and he was terrible in pressure situations as a coach after year one. But give me what we had with Butch early with Heupel for a maintainable period, for him being able to maintain it, and I'll be very happy with that. And I'm hoping that's what you have.
Text box time here. Got some good stuff from Terrell says, I disagree. That they had rape allegations, coaches hitting players. He started with the bad culture that Pruitt inherited and made worse. I don't know, guys. I think the connection with the two makes Pruitt seems worse. What you disagree with, Terrell? I think we all said that Tramel's, Pruitt's culture was worse. But a rape allegation is an allegation. I mean, if you're talking about A.J. Johnson, I mean, he was not guilty. So you did have the incident that allegedly happened between Butch Jones and who's that player, Stokes? I think you remember that story.
Yeah, I remember that story. Matt Crowder.
Yeah, Matt Crowder.
They
were
he's rotting away somewhere.
Yeah, it was that surface that there was altercation between those two. But I mean, if you say that the culture was already bad and Pruitt made it worse, I'm not disagreeing with that. But I think Pruitt's culture was worse because the chancellor came in and had to fire people on the spot. I don't know how you get much worse than that. Butch Jones didn't have that. Butch Jones didn't have that at all. So that culture started to go downhill. 15, 16, and then 17. It just rotted.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that Kentucky game when Butch Jones, who was a running back? My man from Oak Park, Michigan.
John Kelly.
Yeah, John Kelly. When John Kelly had enough. John Kelly had enough and went to the bench, and Butch trying to talk to him, and John wasn't hearing it. He wasn't hearing it. At that point, I knew he was lost. I knew he had lost all the guys on that team. He had lost them. And when you lose your best player, when you can't coach your best player the hardest, it's tough. You should be able to coach your best player the hardest and the toughest. You want an example? Rick Barnes and Grant Williams. And at that point, I was like, oh, it's a wrap.
John Kelly had gone out and got suspended for that Kentucky game.
So
I don't know what game you were referencing, but he was suspended for that Kentucky game in 17 because he and Will Ignat got popped for weed possession or
was it
got pulled over on the
game?
strip.
It was a game on the road, and I remember John Kelly either got a penalty or something and came to the sideline. Butch trying to talk to him, and John Kelly wasn't having it.
It does not surprise me. But I don't think it was the Kentucky game. Not that it necessarily matters in the grand scheme of things. But
maybe it was no, it wasn't Missouri maybe it was Missouri. Maybe it was a Missouri game.
That was Butch's last game.
Yeah, it was a Missouri game. It was a Missouri game. Because he played Missouri and Kentucky either at home or away the same year. I knew it was an away game, so it had to be a Missouri game. It had to be the Missouri game then. Good catch on that one. Yeah. So Missouri game is what it was. I knew it was an away game though, and that lines up with being Butch's maybe last game. But it was an away game, and I remember watching on the sideline, the interaction on the sideline, and John Kelly just wasn't listening. And anytime a coach loses his best player, that's a problem. But to go back and answer Volstorm's question, Pruitt's culture was worse.
Butch did not set up Pruitt for much success with the culture, but Pruitt made it worse.
All Vol 85 said, heard it straight from Swain and VolQuest being Vols to the Natty. That is not right. You got to throw in Stokes too. You got to throw in Stokes too, man. Stokes, Swain, and Ben said Vols to the Natty, which is not what we said at all.
No, not even close.
Not at all. All right, Stokes, man. My man, have a great weekend. We will hear you back here next week. Man, appreciate your time in hour number 1, man.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on. It's been a fun one. It went by quick, and y'all have a safe weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good, my friend. Hour 2 coming up.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
For our listeners today, hit up the text box, hit up our chat box there on YouTube and on Facebook Live. I think y'all have a pretty good idea of how we feel. But I want to know how you feel. So today's touchdown turnover will be all from the responses we get from you, either on text box, either on YouTube chat live, the comment section on Facebook Live, or on Twitter. The touchdown turnover for you, that you feel better. You feel better about Josh Heupel and company today than you did a month ago, or 2 months ago, or even when he was hired. But do you feel better today? Because during that time, you've gotten some transfers, you've had guys leave the program, you got a chance to watch the orange and white game. There was a Saturday where practice was open. You've follow the coverage from Knoxville media, whether it's the pay sites or, well, all of them feel like pay sites now, but you follow Knoxville media. You feel better today. Touchdown or turnover is the question for our fans. I think our number one thing you guys could probably hear from us that, yeah, I mean, it's, feel better. But I want to hear from you. Touchdown turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, the place where you belong. Better weights and better service. Ballstorm says, turnover, I need on-field proof. You feel the same as you did a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, Ballstorm? The exact same? Okay. All right. Mike in North Georgia says touchdown, 100%. He feels better. Just better. Not saying you go out and buy season tickets or go out and buy $1,000 worth of new wardrobe or anything like that, but just better. Always Vol says touchdown. I'm still not on board, but he has to start to build things back, and he has those excited and looking like they are bonding as a team. Guys, it ain't about you being on board or not. It's just, do you feel better? That's it. You don't have to be on board and still feel better. And I don't even know what on board and not on board even means. Like, what does that even mean? But just, do you feel better? Or do you feel worse? There's only two ways you can feel. You feel better or worse. It's hard to feel the same. But better or worse. That's really all the question. Just touchdown, turnover, do you feel better? And if you don't, then just say turnover. But if you do, it's touchdown. You don't have to be on board. There's really, honestly, there's not a reason for you to be on board like right now. We haven't played a game yet. We've had an orange or white game, but I understand that you may not be on board. But that's not the question. The question is, do you feel better? Chad Ray says, I don't feel anything. I'm a batter Vol fan. I'm waiting for the results on the field. I felt better with all these garbage coaches. I felt better with all these garbage coaches at some point. Brazil Vol says, I feel better with them. Papa T, that is Vol Nation, says, I feel better due to the recruiting, transfer, and the culture being created, the positive vibes of the staff, listening to the players, and just hearing the heart and passion of Coach Hype when he talks. Tina R says touchdown, but time will tell. Sandy Vol says touchdown. Yeah, I feel like it's only two options. I feel like you only get better or worse. You only feel better or you feel worse. That's what I feel like. I think it's kind of hard to feel the same when you see stuff going on, but that's just me. I think it's hard to feel the same. But if you feel the same, say you feel the same. If you feel worse, I don't know how you feel worse, but say you feel worse. If you feel better, you feel better. I personally think it's either better or worse. Again, you can be not on board but still feel better. I think that's realistic. I think it's realistic. Kappa Man 3 says touchdown, talent improvement at the most important position, quarterback. That's all you need right there, Kappa Man. Quarterback is upgraded. Feeling better. Justin says, Will and Megan getting married tomorrow. Both VFLs. And Will was in the Pride of the Southland Band, and she was a majorette. So, Will and Megan, congratulations on your marriage tomorrow, and that's how you do it right there. That's how you do it, Will. You marry someone that you don't have to convert over. She already understands the deal. She gets it. There you go. That's how you do it, Will. Congratulations. Congratulations, my friend, on the marriage. Touchdown, we are getting what we need from a roster standpoint, and that is bringing up my confidence level in a couple areas. Turkey Man said the baseball team makes me feel better. All right. That's how you see it. Tramel says, touchdown, I feel good. When we hired them, now I feel a bit better. They seem the most organized that I've ever seen. Remember, we didn't have this coverage from former and everything after that. So, yes, it's definitely seemed more organized from the top down. I just want to reiterate. The question is not to hype you up, to make you think that, man, Tennessee is back and Josh Heupel is going to be the next Urban Meyer. That's not the question. There's no reason turning it into that. Change the narrative, move the goalposts. It's simple. Do you just feel better? That's it. That's it. Certainly, I'm in a different position than some other folks. I play here. I do radio here. And, of course, if I can help any way I can, I will, as long as it doesn't compromise what I do. And so, like I feel better, but I don't know what would be on board for me. Like, what does on board mean for me? I don't know. Like, what does on board mean for you? I don't even know what on board honestly means. I'm going to go to the games. I'm going to continue to talk about Tennessee because it's my job. If my school needs some help, and it doesn't compromise, what I do for a living, I'm going to help, and I've done that ever since I've been out of school. So I've really never been off board. Like I've always been on board, I guess.
Wouldn't off board mean that you're no longer a fan?
I guess I don't. That's what I'm asking. I don't even know what on board, off board means for folks who are even using it. I'm off board. Well, if you're off board, are you not a fan anymore, or you just? I mean, what does that even mean? I don't even know. It's weird. It's weird to me. I think like maybe you mean like if you're off board, you're not going to any games. You're not, does that mean you're not buying any more UT gear? Like, what does that even mean? Oh, man. Jamestown Russ says, what if we had Dobbs with Heupel? Whew. Heupel will have a whole lot easier of a first year than Pruitt. That's what we would say.
Tennessee would have enough wins to go to a bowl game. They would not go to a bowl game.
We're talking freshman Dobbs or like sophomore Dobbs? What Dobbs are we talking about here?
I imagine Jamestown Russ is referring to the good Josh Dobbs, the veteran Josh Dobbs. That Josh Dobbs is the quarterback of the team. You beat Pittsburgh. I think you have a really good chance of beating Ole Miss. That Ole Miss defense, Dobbs would throw for 500 and run for 500 against that Ole Miss defense. Sure would be nice.
We got a message for you over here, Ben. Brandon B wants to know if you're going to attend Kayvon Bennett's, a.k.a. Squid's going away party on the Strip. I heard he dropped an album. Y'all going to check it out. Brandon says, Swain, you're probably too old.
I can't say that I will be attending Squid's going away party at Studio X. I don't prefer to hang out with drug dealers, so I will not be in attendance.
It's probably a good life lesson there, Ben. Bad things can happen when you hang out with people who sell drugs.
I will give him props though. Squid is a much better rapper name than Pooh Shiesty. So at least he don't have the word poo in his rap name. I just can't imagine trying to come up with a rap name and, oh yeah, poo. Let's put poo in my name.
I don't know if Squid's that much better. It's better, but I don't know about how much. What you gonna say? Hey man, you better get out of my face. I'm gonna squirt this ink in your face. And we squirt this ink on you like a real squid. That's how we do it. But it's better than Pooh Shiesty. Yeah. Anything is better than poo
in your name. It's just. But no, I will not be in attendance for Kayvon Bennett's going away party.
John K says, going back to yesterday, I learned yesterday that the girl I've been dating for a month is an Auburn fan. I guess I'm joining Auburn, War Eagle. Just kidding. Screw Auburn. John K, I got questions, sir. You just learned yesterday, after a month of dating, that she was an Auburn fan? Bro, you should have asked that on the first date. That's a first date question. All right, are you a convicted felon? Okay, no. You got kids? No. I think once you hit a certain level, I think you need to start asking about credit scores too. That's important too. Like when you're young, that stuff don't matter. But when you get older, you dating in your like late 30s and 40s, what's your credit score? What's your credit score? If your credit score is good, we can go on a second date. These are very important questions. Crazy boyfriends. You having crazy boyfriends? Have you been married before? Are they in jail? Like those are important questions. And then after that, what's your favorite college football team? I need to know that on the first date.
I don't even think it's a first date question. That is a first conversation type of question. Obviously, when you slide into the DMs, you're trying to pull out your best lines and put on your best moves to impress her, to try and get the phone number. That's if it is over social media. That is,
John K didn't do it the old-fashioned way. He probably used Tinder or something.
Tinder. Yeah, so that is after you get past the trying to get her number part, if it is over social media, then you have to. That's like first type of conversation. So, do you like sports? Okay, what teams do you root for?
I think it's also important that she got kids.
Yes.
That's important too.
Are you willing to be a stepdaddy?
Because if I take you on a first date, I need to know how much I'm gonna pay on the first date. There's a difference between, $40, $50 between me and you, or it depends on what restaurant it is, $100, and then you trying to take to-go plates. Can I get a to-go chicken nugget, chicken finger meal? I need 2 or 3 of those. Wait a minute. You got 2 or 3 kids at the house? Oh, no. That changes the whole game, the whole dating game. How are you out with me? Well, they with the dad this weekend. Oh, no. No, sir. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Joe gets it. Met my wife in Alabama. First 15 minutes of our first conversation, I asked if she was an Alabama fan. She resoundingly said no.
There you go, Joe.
Now we've been married for 18 years.
That's the first conversation. Are you a Bammer? Don't look like you. Got teeth. All right, let's go on a second date. John K., I want to know, how did you get the first date? Did you meet her at church? Did you meet her at the gas station? Did you meet her in a grocery store? Was it a friend hookup? Your friend and her friend just hooked y'all up? Hey, I have a friend that she might want, you might want to go out with. She like Janet Jackson. She like Janet Jackson, more like Fred Jackson. How did it happen, John K.? Or did you get on Tinder? Huh, John K.? How did you get this first date? I want to know. Volchi says being on board sounds like a bandwagon fan.
I agree.
I don't.
Like how do you go from being on board to off board if you're a fan of a team? I agree. It's kind of bandwagon-y to me. You can be in wait and see mode. You can be slow to buy in. You can do all those things, but still be on board, because at the end of the day, the goal is for Tennessee to win, and you're always on board with Tennessee winning. To me, when you're off board, off board is not caring about the result of the game on Saturdays. That's what off board is.
The Bulls. It's me and the Bulls. I'm off board. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's me and the Bulls.
You being off board with the Bulls, you don't really care anymore.
I'm done.
At all. I don't want to speak for you, but
I'm done. No, I've said it.
You don't care what happens with the Bulls.
Nope.
On any given day of the year. You don't care whether they win or lose.
Nope.
You don't care what they do in the draft or what trades or – now, if they traded for Damian Lillard tomorrow, you'd be back on the Bulls. You'd be back on board.
Only for Dame.
But that to me is off board. When you are off board, you are just completely done with being a Tennessee fan.
I think I have it been. When you're a fan, you're really never off board. Like, you're never off board. You're not off board. you're always connected some way, somehow emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
When you're on board, your seats just change. That's all. When you are gun-ho and you are super excited, emotionally you're locked in, you're invested, your seat is just more in the front of the bus. But you're never off board. Even when you're not happy, when you're unhappy, you're still on board. You just sit at the back. You're just not excited. You're still on the bus. It's the big-ass Tennessee bus. And all of us are on board. Whether you like it or not, you're on board. You're just sitting in the back, the very back. You're not talking to anybody. You ain't happy. You're not enthusiastic. You're not buying tickets. You're not going to the games. You're not watching the games. But you're still on board. Because you know why I know you're on board? Because you're still talking about Tennessee.
Yes. You're listening to this show. I would like to think that we have many listeners who aren't Tennessee fans that listen. That we do have a couple. They've called in and said that they're a Florida fan, Georgia fan. I think we had an LSU fan. We do have an LSU fan that listens as well. But if you're listening to this show, there's a 98% chance that you're a Tennessee fan. So if you are a Tennessee fan, or even if you're off board and you're kind of done with Tennessee, I don't know how you could honestly keep listening to the show. If you're listening to the Swain Event, you're still on board with Tennessee.
Even if you don't listen to the show, I see people on Twitter, and I don't engage with them. I've talked to them before. I just sit there and watch. Every day, they talking ish about Tennessee football. Every other day, they're complaining about where we are, which is a valid complaint. They still throwing shade at Jerry Garantano. He been gone months. They upset that the new staff is trying to be positive. They mad at the new staff. I'm not on. Show me first. Okay, whatever. You're on board. You know why? Because you're still talking about Tennessee. You're on board. You're just sitting in the back of the bus. That's all. You're not at the front with Vol Nation. You're not at the front of Vol Nation.
Shoving coal.
Getting things going. This is Vol Nation all the time. New coach, old coach, ugly coach, good coach, bad coach. This is Vol Nation. This is his personality.
He literally had a comment on the text box at the top of the hour that says, "Now y'all see what I'm talking about." I'm trying to see if we can find it. Text box is bumping. Papa T. He brought up the hype train. He said, "Oh, now y'all know what. Now y'all know what it means to be on the hype train all the time." Something along those lines.
But that's Vol Nation's personality. Like he's just enthusiastic and excited about everything that he does.
All in, all the time.
That's him, and that's ain't nothing wrong with that. But don't try to make Vol Nation seem like he is, a less than better fan than you may be just because you say that you ain't on board. You're lying to yourself.
Now
you on board. We all are on board. Because when you're off board, you don't talk about Tennessee all the time. Tennessee is not, they don't dominate your conversation with other Tennessee fans. The truth is you just hurt because you care. You're not off board.
And you have a right to be hurt.
You're on board. Exactly. You're on board. That's the conclusion of the show.
No longer being a Tennessee fan.
Correct. Off board means you are like me with Chicago Bulls. Mm-hmm. I'm done. I haven't watched one Bull game. I haven't cared about one highlight. I'm done. I'm cool. Jordan left 25, 30 years ago. He was the reason why I was a Bulls fan. I'm done.
Papa T, a.k.a. Vol Nation. Remember, Vol Nation is trying to adopt Papa T because he's soon to be a grandfather. But Papa T in South Carolina said, "Now y'all get why I never get off the hype train. I'm always on board with my Tennessee family."
The truth is, Vol Storm is on board. He's just sitting in the back. And guess what?
He's just bitter.
I'm on board too. And I'm sitting at the back with you as a fan. I really am. I'm in wait-and-see mode. I'm not thrilled about everything that I've seen. You got to think about the stuff that y'all know and how you feel. Imagine how I feel with all the stuff that I know that ain't even public. That's happened over the last couple of years. So, yeah, I'm not happy and thrilled, but I did put on my orange this morning when I went to Kroger this morning. I got up super early, went to Kroger. Man, that's the best way to grocery shop right there, man. That is the best way. Oh, man, in and out, that's the best way. But I'm always going to be on board. That doesn't mean I'm going to be happy. That doesn't mean I'm going to just accept a ish sandwich if it's served to me. That does not mean I'm not going to call out what's going wrong. That does not mean that I won't hold people accountable if they need to be held accountable. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be mad and disappointed if we lose a game. That doesn't mean that. Let's go to the phones.
Rusty and then Turkey Man.
Rusty, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
How you doing, Rusty?
Well, man, I'm great. It's almost the weekend. The Vols won last night.
Man, did they?
And, hey, we got a Final Four team playing some really good tennis. I'm on board.
You always been on board, Rusty.
I am. But in the defense of those who say stuff like on and off, it's not a matter that they don't still love to see you're right. They may be in the back of the bus, but really the on and off board thing is individually to each program, and it's your belief in that program at the moment is the on or off board. It's a difference between believing and hoping.
Gotcha.
Believing is thinking the way we did going into Florida when we knocked them off in 16. We believed that season. We were all on board because we thought we could win every ball game we played. We didn't. We went through that stretch where, good God, the SEC gave us a no-looper situation. But there's been a bunch of years, like going into last year and the year before and the year before, and every year basically except 16, that it's all been hope. And we're all kind of like halfway in the pool, halfway out of the pool. So that's really what it's about. It's how confident you are in that we have somebody that's going to be great to go watch, to really get behind, and to let our walls down, let our apprehensions go, and say, yeah, we believe.
Gotcha.
Off board is the way we thought. That's what it really means to me, because I know a lot of people that are like, I'm there. I want us to be great. I think we can, but I just don't believe we can.
Gotcha.
And as of right now, I think everybody's more in the hoping stages with the football program, with the new staff, et cetera.
Gotcha.
With
gotcha.
Basketball, going into last year, we were all on board fully. We all believed. And had things went a few different ways, whatnot. Tony Vitello, we're all on board. I don't think anybody who cares the least little bit about baseball isn't fully on board with TV and what he's doing over there, and with Evan Russell, Max by God Ferguson. We're on board with those kids. And for those of you out there listening that aren't on board, get on board. Get on board with this tennis team, this golf team. We got some good programs over there doing good stuff.
And earlier I asked, like, what does on board mean? Because I truly did not understand how people interpreted what being on board is, and you just cleared that up from your point of view. It's about the confidence level. Confidence-wise, you're on board with what's going on, what you're seeing, and when you're off board, it's because you don't have any confidence. Now that makes perfect sense.
That's it. It's the difference between hope and belief.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Hey, I'm hopeful for the season. I don't know that I believe it's going to be great, but I'm hopeful we can win 6-7 ball games and go to a good ball game and get things rolling right, and that Milton comes in and is a miracle worker somehow, and that Heupel can make this receiving core and one of these quarterbacks great. I hope like heck, but I don't know that I believe it yet. So I don't know that I can say that I'm fully on board. I'm on board with the idea, but
that makes sense.
I think that's the way. I think that's the way most of us are.
That makes perfect sense right there, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
All right, man. Love you guys.
Oh, good stuff, man. Thank you so much.
Well, and Rusty, and to your point about all the other sports that are doing well, that's what not John Curry, that's what Danny White meant when.
Dang, you gonna offend Danny White like that? No, I'm just kidding.
I know that is a huge offense. my apologies, Danny. Please come back on the show. Don't knock the Swain event down the pedestal because of my ignorant comment. That's what he meant. I can't remember who he told. It might have been to VolQuest when Brent Hubbs did his sit down. But whenever it was that Danny White said that he didn't realize how good a shape the entirety of the athletic department was actually in, because football shapes so much of the view of the entire athletic department. And outside of football, the Tennessee athletic department is in a really good spot. There's a lot of really good things going on. It's just unfortunate that the cash cow, the breadwinner, the program that paints the picture for the rest of the athletic department is the one that is down. It's like I was talking to a friend earlier this week, and they were asking about Tennessee baseball and said, when did Tennessee baseball become so good? And we were talking about the SEC tournament and NCAA tournament, and Tennessee has a legit chance to win a national championship. And they made the comment, well, I'm glad Tennessee can be good in something. And that irritated me. And I quickly came back with, well, Tennessee's good at a lot of things, great at a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's just that the one thing that people care about the most, the one thing that shapes the entire university, not even the athletic department, the thing that shapes the entire university, the entire town, the entire state is the thing that is in the worst position. But there's a lot of great things about Tennessee.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Rusty. Good stuff from you. Good stuff, man. Eddie in Charlotte says, I'm much more impressed with Heupel now than when he was hired. Yeah, me too. 423 Josh says, I feel like on board is more about the coaching staff and coach than the program. Always on board with the program, possibly off board with the coach. But it all means you're on board with the program and the staff. But all it means you're on board with the program and staff, and I am all in. That's 423 Josh. Okay. Jay Black says, I think the question was about Heupel. They wasn't saying they were on or off board with UT, but more so than that, they weren't bought in or sold on Heupel yet. The coach staff, not Tennessee. All right. So it's more about the staff, being on board with the staff. Man, that's a tough sell for me, because I feel like and maybe this might be just a personal preference here. I feel like when someone is new, I give them a chance, or I'm on board with them until they prove me wrong or give me a reason not to be. Where some others are, even if it's my school, you're coming in and you have a clean slate. Some folks are like, well, I'm not going to be on board with you until you prove me that you deserve it. I just feel like if at the end of the day, if you're a Tennessee fan, someone that's new with a clean slate should get that benefit of the doubt at first. Now, if they prove that they don't deserve it, then you'd be off board. So, I'll give you an example. Lane Kiffin, Derek Dooley, Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt, Josh Heupel, when they all first came here, I was on board because they were the coach of the program that I love so dearly and played for, and so they had a clean slate. As time went by, and either the results on the football field or things that happened off the football field with how they led determined whether or not I was on board with them. But at the beginning, I was like, hey, man, I'm gonna ride with you until you give me a reason not to. Some people do it in reverse. Not saying it's wrong, but I don't understand how folks would do that. Jeffrey Moore says, I've always been on board at some level. I love it all. Football, baseball, track and field, doesn't matter. I still cuss them with love, though. We all do that now. That's why we wasn't too mad at Kate Mays when he did it, because we've all said worse about our school, right? Let's go back to the phones this morning. Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hope you guys have a good weekend.
You too.
And by the way, I believe it's being mentioned, John Kerry. Kind of ironic that two teams that's doing really good at the moment, he's the one that hired them, the tennis coach and the baseball coach.
Yeah, he 2 for 2 on that one.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
I
And Dave Hart hired Rick Barnes. So, I mean, previous ADs have done a really good job hiring.
He's talking about,
what about
on board. Well, I think Rusty said it best when he said that. But back when I was coaching high school baseball, one of my teams, our first time that they'd been able to reach into the playoffs and an opportunity to play, play for the state, we won the game we had to. And after the end of it, my catcher, he looked at me, and I was calm, and I gave me a drink of water. I was just watching them going crazy, and just enjoying it. He said, "What's wrong, Coach?" He says, "You always up on top." He says, "You ought to be out there doing cartwheels right now." I said, "My job's done right now. I'm enjoying what you guys are doing, and I'm focused on who we got to play next, pitching rotation, so on and so forth." I said, "That's my job." But, we all carry a different direction how we approach things.
Mm-hmm.
If we look and we see that improvement can be made, which I could say that about the baseball team after watching it, some things that was concerning to me that I feel like need to be fixed. The situation with baseball, pitcher's responsibility, different, first baseman responsibility when the ball's hit. Some confusion there would help, be better, correct the problems. But when we do that, a lot of people think we're being negative when we're wanting to be the very best we can be and improve to be all you can be. And it's so easy. The next game, who we're taking on, I treat the coaches say, one game at a time, because get through that one and then focus on this one. And the first thing you do as a coach is, in that direction, you start looking at your next opponent and how you match up your weaknesses. But anyway, I think Rusty hit it right on the head, and go Vols, and hope you get to watch some of the baseball this weekend. By the way, how we got to stream it? How can we watch it?
You have to stream it tonight at 7:00 Eastern, and then tomorrow's game at noon will be on TV on the SEC network.
All right, that's cool. All right, how about Sunday? The Sunday game, it was just last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, because it's the last weekend of the regular season.
Yeah. How did they come out last night? I didn't get the score.
They won 10-4.
That's cool. All right. How's the pitching? Gonna be good?
Last night or the upcoming?
No, I mean, were they able to save arms?
Yes, they were. Chad Dallas was awesome. Pitched into the 8th inning, and then Sean Hunley came in and threw 25, 30 pitches and closed it out. So only had to use one arm out of the bullpen. It was the most important arm out of the bullpen, but he didn't throw a ton, and I would imagine he's available for one more game this weekend, whether it's today or tomorrow.
All right. Have a good one, guys. God bless you.
You sure that's it, Turkey Man?
Hey, what?
You sure you good?
I'm good.
All right.
What I missed something?
No, I mean, like 3 times you was like, all right, All right, I'm out of here. Oh, wait a minute. What about Sean? What about Huntley and them?
Yeah, I'm going on this. I'll see you.
All right, Turkey man. Much love, man. Have a good weekend. And one more thing now. What about who you think we're going to play in the tournament? Wait, who you think going to be the first pitcher in the tournament? How you think Tony Vitello feeling right now? All right, that's it. One more thing. All right, let's get to Lisa in Charlotte. Lisa, good morning.
Hey, how are you guys?
What's up, Lisa? Good morning. Great. How are you?
Good morning. Good. I actually called in the proper way this time. Last time I called on the app, and then I kept hearing you guys in the background, and I couldn't, do things the way I wanted to. So I'm like, I'm just going to call in the right way this time.
1% better. 1% better.
So I am calling because I wanted to comment on, being on board and, or not on board and so forth. I am a Vols fan by marriage for 33 years. So a long time. I love the Vols. Lots of orange gear and whatnot. Many weekends of, we plan everything around the games and this and that. So this is how I am. I mean, I get frustrated when, the football program kind of goes downhill. So I'll be on board. I mean, I'm always on board, but I'm going to use this analogy. I'll be on the bus, but then maybe if we're making a stop, I might get off for a little while and then come back because I'll get mad because, they'll do something crazy. And, I get frustrated and I'll, stop listening to sports radio for a few days, and I have to kind of recoup and, generate, I guess, so that I can be a good fan again. So with Heupel, I would say I'm going to, give him a chance. He doesn't seem crazy. I mean, when he has his press conferences and so forth, he seems like he makes sense. That he knows football. I mean, just from all outward appearances. So I'm going to give him a chance and, let's see how we do this year. If we win, like somebody said, 6 or 7 games, that's sort of what I'm expecting. I mean, I'm not expecting a miracle, obviously, because we need to really get more people, on the team that can help us win. But I'm hoping for some high scoring games and some offense. So I'm going to give it a shot. So that's my take on it.
I love it. I love it, Lisa. Thank you so much. And I was thinking when Lisa was sharing that with us, Rick Barnes, Tony Vitello, when they were entering their first year, how did people feel? Like, were folks feeling the same way? Like, hey, man, it's this guy's 0-0. We know how people feel about Rick Barnes now and Tony Vitello now, and both guys have a chance to say at the end of this baseball season that they have both won National Coach of the Year. I mean, both guys could have that opportunity. Rick Barnes has already done it. Tony Vitello certainly should be in the conversation. But
it'll be highway robbery if he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, but the first year they were here, it's easy to be like, yeah, I was on board, I was on board when they first got here. Now it's easy to say that, but why shouldn't Josh Heupel get the same chance that a Rick Barnes or a Tony Vitello got when they first got here is all I'm saying. Josh Heupel 0-0. He's done everything right so far. Rick Barnes, before he coached his first game, was 0-0. Tony Vitello, before he coached his first game, was 0-0.
Heck, and more people were talking about Tony Vitello's looks than they were him as an actual baseball coach.
There it is.
And yeah.
There it is.
And
that's the reason.
I think there was the most hope with Rick Barnes because you knew what he did at Texas. But I think also the thing with Josh Heupel is how much more excitement would there be had Tennessee been able to hire James Franklin from Penn State? Although I think Heupel's more proven than Lane Kiffin as a head coach, how much more excitement would there be with Lane Kiffin, the Coastal Carolina coach whose name's slipping my mind off the top of my head, Jamie Chadwell, Hugh Freeze? There would be a lot more excitement. So it's not like Coach Heupel in the eyes of the public because he's not as well known. He wasn't a home run hire, so there's a little more hesitancy.
Yeah. And this whole conversation started from a touchdown turnover, which was simple. Do you just feel better today than you did a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago? That's all. And then it kind of turned into, someone had mentioned something about being on board or being off board. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what does it mean to be on board or off board? And then Rusty came in with a great phone call and kind of explained from his perspective what it meant, and pointed to the confidence level with maybe a particular staff or something like that, whether or not you're all on board or off board. But generally, like, we're all on board as Tennessee fans, but it just means your confidence level and things like that. So that was a great explanation from Rusty's side of it. I think Rusty spoke for a lot of people. So good stuff by Rusty. All right, let's go back to the phones. Get the Big Orange Mac. Big Orange Mac, good morning.
Good morning, Jay Swizzle. Good morning, Benjamin. Look at here, people. If you still wearing T-shirts and still got Rocky Top as your ringtone, and yeah, you might be a little pissed off at them for some of the mess that went on, you still on board.
You on board, man.
You done took your gear and done threw it in the fire pit or sold it at a yard sale and you done, you off board.
Yeah.
Period. All right? So, you always on board until you decide that one day, I'm done with these sorry jokers, then you off board. Now, my opinion on Josh Heupel, right now, I'm a little bit impressed. He addressed the issues that I was most concerned about. Now, everybody was worried about who's the quarterback. Folks, we need linebackers, and we need them bad. He went out and got, a couple transfer, hit the portal up with some transfer linebackers, and that was my main concern. So I'm a little bit impressed. He's hitting the. I'm willing to give the guy a chance. Now, I called him before and said, I wasn't too impressed with the hire, but I'm willing to give the guy a chance, just like I gave Dooley a chance. I gave Pruitt a chance.
Yep.
I gave Butch a chance until they screwed it up.
Yep.
So I'm willing to give a guy a chance. We always on board, and just let's give this guy a chance and see what he can do. Now, I ain't running around here on the hype train. I ain't doing that yet because I'm a bit of a negative Nancy. You got to prove something to me on the field. The proof's in the pudding when it's on the field. All right, that's the proof. That's where the proof of the pudding is in between them lines on Saturday. So
I think Big Orange Mac. Now, what Rusty's talking about as far as confidence, your confidence going to improve. It's going to raise once you see the results on the football field.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Well,
stuff.
gentlemen, I'm gonna get off of here and get this last day of work in. Man. Y'all have a good one and go Big On.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks so much for the phone call. Thank you so much for the phone call. Good stuff. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Like, when Josh Heupel was hired, I was like, okay. I wasn't doing backflips, but I wasn't like, because I knew, like, the way that most people view Lane Kiffin is not how I view Lane. So, like, I wasn't disappointed that Tennessee didn't even talk to Lane. I think Lane's a great coach offensively, but he's overhyped as the head coach. And I knew that what he did here, people weren't going to bring him back. It was way too much. It's not, and a lot of that stuff ain't public. And then as far as Hugh Freeze, like NCAA stuff, there was just no way. There was just no way it was going to happen. And the SEC publicly didn't say, no, we don't want Hugh Freeze, and that's the school's decision to make. But privately, they wasn't blessing the move. Because if they were blessing it, I think Hugh Freeze would have been up in here already in the SEC. So I just knew those wasn't realistic, options. I think your expectations is directly connected to your disappointment. And if you have high expectations and the result falls short, you're going to be highly disappointed. Because I didn't have high expectations about those two candidates, I wasn't disappointed that they were not the head coach because I just didn't think it would happen. So, like, when Heupel was hired, I was like, man, I watched him in a bowl game. Man, the dude got some experience. I mean, considering our situation, it's pretty good considering what we're in right now. This might be the best hire of a proven head coach since Johnny Majors. And it is when you stop and thought about it. So thank you for the phone call, Big Orange Mac. And again, Heupel still has to go out there and do it. The staff has to still go out there and do it. They got to do it. You got to go win games. Simple as that. Let's go back to the phones. And Mike in North Georgia. Mike, good morning.
Hey, fellas. How we doing?
What's up, Mike, man? Good to hear from you.
Hey, thank God it's Friday. Doing all right today. Hope you guys are too.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'll tell you what. The first thing that came to mind for me when we started talking about getting into detail of on and off board and stuff, first thing that came to mind for me was freaking 2015 again. Arkansas right there with Alabama, lost that one, and then should have beat Oklahoma, should have beat Florida. That's the first thing that came to mind for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is, oh my God, I'm done with this guy. How could I even deal with this anymore? Then we close out decently strong that year. 2016 starts all right, beat Florida. I'm back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like with a new coach, I'd say the toughest hires to get quote unquote on board with were Butch and Dooley. This one, was not what we wanted. The only thing I would change right now is that we would have talked to Chadwell. Now, I don't know why we didn't do that, but I'm not going to hold that against the admin, because they're new as well. And
we talked to Chadwell.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it's not public, but I'll tell you.
It is now.
I tell you, it is now. But we talked to him.
Okay. Well, and even that makes me feel a little bit better with the admin if we at least visited, Chadwell. But I feel like Dooley and Butch were the hardest ones to get on board with, just because of Dooley being, probably the most unknown, and then Butch being our 17th option at the time. But like everybody said, Heupel is like the most proven that we've had since Majors. And I can think back when we first hired him, I thought back to like Oklahoma, not long after he stopped playing when he was an assistant there, how fast their offenses were. And I'm like, man, if we can bring some version of that to Tennessee, I would be down.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
Yep. It goes back to those results. You got to get those results, man. You look at what he's done, he's actually coming in with more accolades, except for being a championship coordinator. But the knock on Peru was, look at all that talent at Florida State. Look at all that talent you had at Alabama. But we've seen him, coordinate real good offenses. But 3 years he was a head coach. So and pretty good record as a head coach. So he's done it before. He hasn't done it at this level yet. So the next thing for him is just going out winning games. But I think every move that he's made so far has been really good. No coach has done more to connect former players to the program than any coach that I could think of.
Football-wise,
in Tennessee. No coach so far has done more to connect old players and current players and connect, with the program more than any other coach. Any coach. So far, with what Heupel has done, the effort he's put forth has been really good, man. And I hope that continues because, here soon there's going to be more distractions for him. There's going to be more things that's going to occupy his time, and he has hired people to solely do that, for him, because he understands it's important. But I'm rooting for him. I hope that he's successful. But I can see it. I can notice it, man. I can notice it. He is extending the hand out to a lot of former players, letting them know, how much they mean. And it's been something that's been long due. And other coaches have tried. They came in at the beginning and done that. But then, once the bullets start flying, once, the season started, going underway, and they kind of, they let it fall by the wayside. And then those relationships continue to be fractured. So I just hope when the season starts and, you got a player getting arrested for this, or, you lose a tough game to this team, that's still the same effort that he puts into the former players. Because I think it's important for the program to heal. So sorry to take over your call there, but I just thought about that and thought I should share. But yeah, Chadwell was talked to. Because we didn't know that at first. It was like, man, why are we talking to Jamie Chadwell? Why are we talking to Jamie Chadwell? But one thing we learned about this coaching search from Danny White, it wasn't public. It's the reason why you go through a search firm. When you go through a search firm, less leaks. You won't have those leaks of who you talk to. When you don't use a search firm, people talk a whole lot, and leaks get out. All right, let's go back to the phones to get to Dave Toner. Dave Toner, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Hey, listen, I want to chime in a little bit on this on board or off board, on the train, off the train. I didn't really have a issue per se when they hired Heupel. I thought they possibly could have done a better job, but I think they exhausted themselves trying to. But I also know that they could have did a worse job. He's a very confident young man, and he's got some big you-know-whats to come into this train wreck knowing that there is sanctions coming, and the beast of a fan base that we have, that, he's willing to be here. He wants to be here. He's willing to be thrown into the lion's den. I am pretty confident in him. He did a good job at UCF. UCF is not Tennessee, but Tennessee is not UCF. So the more accessibility and money and everything else that goes along with UT, I think the man stands to do a fairly good job. As far as being on the train or off the train, I'm just going to say this, and I may be wrong. If you're listening to this show and you answer that question, you're on board. Otherwise, I love you guys to death, got nothing but respect for you and Ben. But I don't just call in to hear y'all talk. I call in to listen about Tennessee football and Tennessee sports. So if you're listening, you're pretty much on board, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it depends on, what does on board mean for you? I mean, Rusty kind of shared that. I mean, you can listen to the show and, still be a Tennessee fan through and through, but just not be on board with Heupel and company until they prove it. I get that. I understand that. So it's not like you're not on board as a fan. It's just that you're not on board with, whoever's in charge until they prove it. Now, my personality is, I'm going to be on board with you because you're coaching my school until you prove me wrong. So like, here's an example. So you love your kids, right? At one point, your kids are going to start dating, and whether or not you like that person depends on what they do after the first time you meet them. But to not like them on the first day, they come in, they respectful to you, they show manners. You shouldn't not like them on the first day. You should, because you love your kid, say, hey, I'm gonna give this girl or guy an opportunity. Now, when they prove that they're scumbags and bad folks, then you have a reason not to like them. That's how I kind of look at it. I mean, you got a sister, so you can definitely identify with that. For sure, if I had a sister, I would be able to identify with that. But like, I have young kids. My oldest is 12, so like soon, like I'm gonna be in that position where like, okay, I love my kid. Do I look at this person as guilty until proven innocent, or innocent until proven guilty? Oh, I love Tennessee, and Josh Heupel, do I look at him and is he guilty until proven innocent, or is he innocent until proven guilty? I just choose to look at him as innocent until proven guilty. Now, when he messes up or do something stupid or shows that he can't be a head coach, then that's a conversation we're going to have. But for right now, I'm on board until he gives me a reason not to be. Swain Event.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or, if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. It's hour 3 here in the Swain Event. Irish Networks hotline, 865-255-03. Humming this morning. Appreciate all the phone calls and interaction. Volstorm and then Rodney is on the Irish Networks hotline. So let's get to Volstorm. Volstorm, good morning, sir.
I love how you've deviated from the original question.
What's the original question that I deviated
The original question was touchdown or turnover. You feel better about the Josh Heupel era than you did the past few months.
Correct. And then I explained last segment that the reason why we are having this conversation is because someone mentioned that they're off board. I said, what does that even mean? And then Rusty called in, explained what that meant. And so before Rusty called in, I was like, well, technically you're always on board if you're a Tennessee fan. I didn't know what off board, on board even meant. Rusty explained it, and so it started a whole nother conversation, though. I didn't blame you for being I didn't accuse you of being off board, on board.
No, I'm accusing you.
No.
No.
I'm
you
always
did
on board.
insinuate I was off board.
No, I use you as an example.
He's just sitting in the back of the bus.
Example. I use you as example, but you're always on board, Volstorm. You're always on board because you engage. You engage in Tennessee football, whether you're pissed off or happy. You're engaged. You're on board.
People that get on to social media and call into shows like this, of course, there's no other show like this. They are on board because when you're mad at your ex, you still have feelings.
Exactly.
When you ever seen those people? They're constantly just complaining about their ex and putting them down and everything. And you just want to look at them and go, "You still have feelings."
Yep.
If you didn't, you wouldn't keep talking about it.
Yep. Exactly. So you're on board. Yeah. You may not be on board with your approval, but you are on board as far as your investment emotionally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's ever going to be a time that I'm off board. I mean, hell, I was born into it. I graduated from there. The whole family is balled up.
That graduation thing, that's debatable. We need evidence. We need evidence.
You need evidence. You want me to send you a copy of my diploma?
Yeah, we need copies, man. Ben's jab at you about the Mississippi State degree had me thinking. I think we need some evidence.
I definitely got the evidence.
No,
but back to the original question, when I said that it's turnover, that I don't feel any different now than I did a few months ago. Butch Jones made a living off of what he did in the offseason, and it didn't always translate to the field. The only decent things that Pruitt did was to bring in recruits, which never translated to the field. Because the bottom line is this. What we care about day in and day out is what the record is and what's being done on the field. All this other stuff is window dressing. Not saying it's not important, but what matters is wins and losses.
Yep.
And how you win and lose.
Yep. It's important. I think that's why Josh Heupel's here. Because we're going to lose, but if we lose scoring points, it's a whole lot better than losing only scoring 7 or 10 points.
Exactly. You know, if you lose but you fired all the bullets in the chamber, you're not going to be nearly as disappointed as, what we've had to put up with the past couple of years.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And as far as the hire of Heupel goes, I remember Heupel when he was a quarterback at Oklahoma. So I knew there was going to be quarterback development, which is what we needed. So the hiring of Heupel wasn't as big of a disappointment as, say, Ben McKee's wardrobe malfunction yesterday. See, bud?
I wasn't ready for that one, man. I wasn't ready for that, man. He had me like really listening. And
Yeah.
I thought he was making a real point, and then boom, he just hit you across the back of the head like Homie the Clown.
Yeah, that was good and bad by Volstorm. That was good that it kind of came out of left field, but I felt like there could have been more in the punchline. He didn't say it with enough conviction. It was a very soft punchline with how he presented it. Great line, poor conviction.
I need proof, Volstorm. You can scan a picture of your diploma and you can drop it in my DMs. I need proof that you are a graduate of Tennessee.
The proof that I want is a student ID from Pellissippi and UT.
If I had to give proof, I wouldn't even be able to do that because I don't know what my diploma is. Let me ask my wife. Maybe she knows where it
anybody
is.
can print out something online and try and show somebody. I want a student ID. Volstorm's student ID from his time at Tennessee in the 60s. That's what I want to see. I mean the 50s. Sorry, I forgot. They won a national championship when he was in school. The 50s.
Yeah. Daddy Haslam was on that team.
I heard
Volstorm's a student there too.
I heard Grandpa Haslam was the one that was on the team. Not
Yeah,
even
Daddy
Haslam.
yeah.
It was Grandpa Haslam.
Even before Daddy Haslam?
It was Daddy's daddy.
Golly. Oh, man. All right, Volstorm. I need to find my diploma. Now I'm thinking about it. I just text my wife to ask her where's my degree so I can find it. I don't know where it is, man. I'm scared to take it out of the cylinder because then I won't be able to roll it back and put it back in.
That's why you need to frame it. Hang it.
Yeah, no. One of these days. All right, let's go back to the phones. And let's get to Rodney. Rodney, good morning.
Good morning, man.
What's up, man? I was thinking about you yesterday.
Hey, man, I'm doing great, man.
I was thinking about you yesterday, Rodney.
What about?
There's some background feed there. I think you got the app going or something.
Hold on.
There's a little echo. That's a rookie mistake.
About?
That's a rookie mistake, Rodney. Because I was cutting grass the day before, and I couldn't breathe, man. I had the worst allergy attack ever, and I was like, dude, I don't know how Rodney deals with this stuff. This is ridiculous. I was
Allegra.
man, I took some. It was too late though. I had a couple days where I didn't take it. I was feeling real good about myself. I was like, I'm good. I don't need no allergy medicine.
Man,
I'm good.
You talk about a rookie move. You thought there feeling good. Then you can't breathe.
I'm good. And then yesterday I was like, I was
doubt.
hurting yesterday, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, you can't let it creep up on you like that.
I know.
Man.
Gotta stay consistent.
Always be ready, man.
Exactly.
Hey, I was calling in about on board. The way I look at it is like this. Tennessee's in my blood. So I'm never off board. I may be frustrated, but I'm never off board.
Gotcha.
It's just, hey, once they get on, as far as the coach goes, I could care less because I'm invested in Tennessee. So whoever they get, I got to ride with them. They didn't call me an ass. So I don't get frustrated or I could care less who they bring in because whoever they bring in, I'm gonna cheer for them until they give me a reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, until I take my last breath, I'll always be a Tennessee ball fan. So, I can't get off board. I can only get frustrated.
Yeah, I feel you. That's how I am, man. I'm always on board. But you know what stinks though? And this is no fault of our own. This is the coaches putting us in this position because they failed to do their job. But what about that time when you're on board, but you're off board with the coach, and you know that coach ain't going to get it done, and he's basically a dead man walking, and you just like, let's just hurry up and get this thing over with. So like when Dooley at the end of his third year and Butch at the end of his fifth year in 17, like I was put in a bit of a conundrum there, man. It was tough, a bit of a pickle, because I was rooting for my boys to win the game, but I was like, We need to go ahead and cut bait, man. We need to go ahead. This dude's a dead man walking. Let's just go ahead and get it over with now. But we know it was going to take him to lose to do that, because John Curry didn't really want to fire him, but he had no choice. That is the worst position to be in as a fan.
Yeah. That Bush Jones, the last, I almost couldn't breathe right then. It's like, I cannot not watch him, but it pains me to watch him.
Yeah.
But I still got to watch him, and my wife would be like, why do you do this to yourself? I don't know. I just don't need you to talk to me right now. I'm going to watch this. Yeah. I wish I drunk. If I drank, man, I'd probably be drunk back then. But I just can't help it. So it's just in my blood, man. So.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff, Rodney.
All right, I'll hang up and listen.
All right, man. That reminds me, I got to take my allergy medicine. I got to do that.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Man, I was slipping. I went a whole week without taking it, and I was good, man. I've been in the yard doing work here and there, but like what's today? Wednesday, I went hard in the paint. Weed eating. That's when you go hard in the paint. When you weed eat, you pull out the blower, you're blowing the trimmings, and you cut the grass. Oh, that's when you go hard in the paint. That's when you really, really, really getting stuff done. Sometimes you just cut the grass. It can go another week without weed eating. We good. No, I was really, really putting that work in. The blower all flying in the air, all in my nose. Oh, yeah, it was over. I'm so glad I don't be wearing a mask as much anymore. So I was like, I ain't going to put my mask on cutting grass. I should have had my mask on. Oh, yesterday I was hurting. I know y'all heard it in my voice. I know y'all heard it, man. Sound like Dennis Franchione a little bit during the show. A little nasally. No, y'all heard it. Let's get to...
sounded more like Avery Johnson to me.
Yeah.
Avery Johnson.
I felt it. I know I sounded different for sure. Today I'm better. I can breathe. I went to bed at about 11-ish. The dog woke up at around 5. I thought it was 2 o'clock. I was like, what happened? Like, I was hurting so bad that it affected my sleep in a huge, huge way. That's why I got up and went to the grocery store to try to wake up. And they had a brisket on sale, which I just put on the smoker.
Did you know the brisket was on sale?
No clue. I went to the store this morning to try to wake up.
Did you go to the store to purchase something?
I went to the store to get some lunch for the kids for today, and also some biscuits for breakfast. That's why I went. I was in the mood to make some biscuits. I was walking by, I got some bacon, and I saw the brisket on sale. And I was like, oh, man. Usually when you got to do a brisket, you got to do it in the morning. So I was like, well, if I do this brisket, it has to be before the show, or this thing is not going to be done until later tonight. So I decided at that moment I was going to put the brisket on before the show. So during the breaks, I've been seasoning, slicing, trimming, stoking the fire, getting ready. I'm going to have pics later. I'm going to send them right to Volstorm. Make you real jealous. And I have a couple slices for you too, Ben. Just like always. You know who's the most excited when the smoker is going? It's Ben McKee, especially during the week.
Your youngest.
Ben McKee. Because Ben knows even before my kids know. Ben knows.
I did notice when I was coming in this morning.
You smelled it?
Well, I saw the fire first.
You smell that oak and hickory?
It was weird because the way that I come in, you would think that I would smell it first because I obviously come in from the outside, but I didn't smell it until I opened your door, and then I got like a whiff of it from the inside.
Oh, yeah. It's going to smell even better when the show's over. 'Cause at that moment, the brisket wasn't even on. That's going to smell even better. All right, let's get back to the phones.
We have Joe and Augusta.
Joe and Augusta, good morning.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, Joe?
Oh man, it's Friday, man. We ain't hitting on nothing. We ain't doing nothing.
Does your boss know that?
Yeah, it's not really different than normal, so he kind of expects it from us anymore.
Oh man, that's great.
Well, I heard Rodney talking about how he said, man, I don't even know why I watch them. I ain't been watching them, but I just watch them anyway. I can tell you why. It's like family, man. It's like your kids. Like when your kids are doing wrong, you're like, why? But it's not like you're gonna I can't just go play in the street. I don't even care. You can't do that. I mean,
nope.
This team, man, it's you love it too much, and even when you know that things are going bad and we're finna get blowed out the water, you're just like, all right, maybe something will happen. Maybe they'll snap it over the quarterback's head and we'll recover it in the end zone. And things will go our way. And you know it ain't gonna happen. You know it ain't gonna happen. But there's hope, and that's why we keep coming back.
Oh man, it's true. It's true because you don't have anywhere to go.
No,
nope. You get mad. It's like being in a dead end, right? Like you're like, I'm about to leave, and like you turn around and you can't go that way. There's only one way to go. It's the other way. Like as a Tennessee fan, there's no other way to go. You can't stop being a Tennessee fan and adopt another fan base. Like we've heard stories,
but you'd be a bum.
Well, we've heard stories. We had a Georgia fan that called in. He was a little bit older, but he explained why he converted from Tennessee to Georgia years ago when he was a little bit younger. But you can't do it now. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. It's something you got to do when you're younger.
Man, that UCLA game, not the one with Fulmer, but the following one. I went to I was at
Kiffin.
My parents' house.
Was that Kiffin?
Yeah.
That was 09.
At my parents' house, man. And I got so pissed off, I just left. I just walked out. Didn't even say bye to my mama. And I was driving around mad, and I ended up at Best Buy because I knew that they would have games on. And I ended up watching the rest of the game at Best Buy because I couldn't get away. I'm like, what am I doing here? This isn't even a bar. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm like, come on, make a play. People walking past like, what's wrong with you? Like, and I'm in Georgia, so everybody's like, what's wrong with you guy?
Did you have an orange?
I did.
Oh man, they probably thought you was really crazy then.
It's game day. Got a polo on.
That's great. That's great, man. That's what being a fan's all about.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna get out here and perpetrate like I'm working until for about the next 7.5 hours. And y'all have a good day, gentlemen.
See you. All right, let me go to the text box. Share with your fellow smokers. What you mean share, man? I love sharing. I be loading Ben up, man. Load him up. I love to share. All 85 said, who has brisket on sale? Kroger. Kroger has brisket on sale right now. So I already got mine, so I don't mind telling you. I ain't about to get another one. So they on sale. They got some ribeyes on sale, but I got the brisket. So brisket is on sale at Kroger. Good stuff here on the text box we'll get to after the break. Swain Event. Be right back.
Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. Hope you're having a great Friday morning. It is the bottom of the hour, 9:30. Nelson, boy, you crazy. Swain about to make the Lincoln Riley brisket. Oh man. I need to go look it up again. I need to look up that Lincoln Riley brisket. Oh man. The best part of that tweet, when Lincoln Riley showed that brisket, is that he thought it was fire. The confidence in that tweet.
He was so proud.
This tweet, all it says is "Happy Easter!" exclamation point, and he used the emoji exclamation point, and then he used the emoji of a chef. Hey, when you tweet a picture with 2 words, that means the picture speaks for itself. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Ain't that what they say?
Something like that.
When you tweet a picture and you say, "Happy Easter," the picture better be fire. In this case, it was fire, all right. It looked like it had too much fire and not enough spritz because it's dry. And it looked like he sliced it wrong too, man. Yeah, he sliced it wrong. He sliced it with the grain. He didn't even slice it against the grain here. He sliced it wrong. You ain't right, Nelson. You ain't right. It will not be a Lincoln Riley brisket. I can promise you that. Let's see here. Terrell says, if you got a Tennessee tack, can you ever be off board?
No.
What about an Alabama tack? Can you ever be off board Alabama?
Nope. That's why Pruitt was always a Bammer.
I know you was going to swing at that one.
And always will be.
No, I can't ever be off board, man. I can't ever be off board.
Y'all gonna have a real hard time cracking these Bama jokes on me here soon when I have the state of Tennessee outlined on me.
Where you getting it, man? On your neck?
On my forehead. Try to cover up the bald spot.
What side? Northeast, northwest, west, southeast?
I don't know. I got a pretty big head. I got a lot of room to cover.
You got that Peyton?
I don't have a big forehead. I just got a big head.
I'm just joking. Don't cancel me. Y'all say a little joke about Peyton. Y'all be wanting to fight.
Brad's got all the room on the forehead. I got all the room behind the forehead. I'm going to get it on my inner bicep. I'm going to have a hard time cracking those Bama jokes.
Right arm?
Yep.
Oh, man, you working on the sleeve like Brown Maurer.
I know. Leg sleeves next. I'm going to have a hard time when I have Mumford, Tennessee, and Paris, Tennessee represented on my arm.
I'm going to need Tramel to look at his text before hitting the sand. What is Tramel talking about?
Swain, you've been asking Tramel to proofread his messages on the text box for years now. He ain't never done it. He ain't going to do it.
I'm asking Tramel to get a new phone because I'm convinced he has a flip phone.
And as speaking of being on board with tattoos, as Nelson points out, somebody like Andy, when you have that just great chest piece, you will always be on board. You can never be off board when you have such a great Tennessee chest piece like Andy has. That's a great point by Nelson. When you have an awesome smoky dog, gorilla, mauler chest piece, you can never be off board. Andy is what we all should strive to be. Somebody as on board as Andy.
You know a dog has grills?
Yes.
All right. Chip Payne says grocery stores knows exactly what they're doing when it comes to product placement because I can never go in there and get exactly what's on the list. I always get some extra things that I had no intention on getting. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And the worst, you can't go to the grocery store if you're hungry. You truly cannot. It's not a good idea if you go to the grocery store while you are hungry.
Man.
It does not end up well. Everything looks like it tastes great.
And then they had a dozen and a half eggs for 97 cents. What am I supposed to do? Just let that sit there? I'm supposed to let that sit there? I got 3 cartons of dozen. I walked away with 3 dozen eggs.
My problem is I get to the front.
No, I walked away with 4.5 dozens. 4.5 dozens. Now think about it.
At least the eggs take a while to expire.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. I got a dog now, so.
Oh, yeah, you can be on your Daytona and feed.
I can hook him up with some eggs, even though he might be too young to be eating eggs. But you can always use eggs, man. Bacon, you got to have breakfast. I'm not a big breakfast person, but on the weekends I have breakfast. But the kids love eggs and breakfast. So you can never have too much eggs.
Part of the grocery store that gets me is where the checkout is because they have all those drinks up there and get some M&Ms or some Reese's cups. I can't go check out without getting a drink and some type of candy.
Chip Payne over here telling on himself
about him going to the grocery store.
And never go to the store stoned out of your mind either. Chip, we don't. Are you speaking for a friend or are you speaking for yourself?
Chip gets the munchies when he goes.
Oh yeah, the Willa. That part of the section of the grocery store that you don't like, I know gets Chip because they got nothing but goodies up there. Little 25-cent bag of chips, Snickers.
And the big box store is the worst. They got
the
the candy, all those little self bag of chips.
Oh, they get Chip every time. They get Chip every time.
Chip be eating the chips when he's on his munchies.
Oh yeah. Do your thing, Chip. We ain't judging you, man. Do your thing.
No wonder C-Mac was in Atlanta last couple of weeks.
He was hanging out with Chip.
Chip and
up.
C-Mac. Probably had Rodney with him, too.
They met up.
You know why Rodney was flustered and made that rookie mistake, don't you? About him being on speakerphone or having the app playing in the background?
Yeah, he probably was a little.
Well, no, he was just sitting in Atlanta traffic. He was flustered from Atlanta traffic.
I was about to say it should be good now, but nope. Atlanta traffic don't calm down till
ever. You know, folks
probably 11-ish.
Folks from South Pittsburgh, traffic flusters them more than the average person because they're used to 2 cars on the road at once. They can get to where they need to get to 5 minutes early just because there's nobody else on the road. But get a South Pittsburgh native into Atlanta and they are flustered.
Ooh. Vol Chief says, I can feed the pup plenty of eggs. All right. Well, get ready, pup. Better have some omelets. Darth Vol is sharing his personal experiences again that line up with Chips. Turkey Man says, is Ben and Andy going to get tattoos together? Other McKee says, Tramel has to cycle through the 3 letters on each number on his flip phone. Tramel says, I still know what Tramel's saying over here.
Would you say about 90% of people have smoked in their lifetime at least once? I'd say that's right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I fall into the 10%. I have truly never smoked a day in my life.
Yeah, me too.
The smell of it makes my head hurt. I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I'll stick to my green apple, my Jack Green Apple.
Yeah, man.
My Jack and Coke.
I agree with you, buddy. Let's see here. UPS man says the bottom line, because Volstorm said so. No one drops the mic like Volstorm. ATL VFL says on board typically means you are in agreement. I can see that. I can. Mm-hmm. On board, just it's how you interpret it. It's how you interpret on board. You can be on board but not be in agreement. Or you can just not be on board because you're not in agreement. The bigger picture is this is my school. So I'm always on board with my school, but I'm not in agreement with this coaching staff, so I'm not on board with the staff. I'm on board with the school, not the staff. But think about like if you was a major donor. And let's say you donated $500,000 a year. You know how weird that would be? Be like, yeah, I'm on board, but I'm not donating $500,000 a year. I'm not donating anything anymore. But I'm still on board. Whew, that'd be weird, man. That'd be weird. Jeffy Dean says Coach Hyper is the most down-to-earth football coach we've had in over a decade, at least from afar. The players seem to be enjoying themselves. I'm not seeing anything negative since he's got here. No reason to not be on board. One thing I've noticed from especially the last 2 coaches is that the job changed them. Like the power, the pressure, it changed them. Like some of the stories we were hearing about Pruitt and some of the players not liking him. Now, some of the players did. It didn't line up with what we were hearing before he got here. And I think the pressure and the power changed him. And most certainly the pressure and the power changed Butch. Ain't no doubt about it. When you tell your own fan base during the game, F you, I think the pressure is getting to him a little bit, guys. I think that's getting to him. All 85 says we're just tired of being let down. We keep getting hyped for these coaches. They're the ones who are going to make us great again. Yet time after time we're let down. I think we lost that message. Oh, here we go. We keep saying this is rocky bottom, can't get worse, and the next guy proves us wrong. We're just getting burnt out. I feel fans are more in that show me first. I'm here, ready and waiting. I'm ready to run through a brick wall, but we need a coach that's ready to run through it with us. Yeah. Yep. And again, it goes back to Rusty's call. Being on board can speak to your confidence level and excitement. And if you don't have that, then you're not on board. But you're still on board as a fan. And that can be true. That's good stuff. ATL VFL likes the hires. Golish, Ronnie Garner, Martinez especially. Jamel says it's the most organized I've ever seen. Talking about this staff. Yeah, man, they are on board with the organization. That's for sure. All right, here's Jamel's text again. Okay, I understand that one, Jamel.
To be fair, the one about the 90% was probably his most crisp, clean message of all time on the text box. It was straight to the point, didn't have any grammar mistakes. I mean, it was awesome.
See, Mac, how the hell y'all can go about smoking meat to smoking trees? I don't know.
That is the C-Mac's greatest hour in Swain Event history.
Joe Augusta says, went drunk into a Walmart one day on a payday. Terrible idea. Wasted more money than 2017 coaching staff. Rodney told you to slow your roll.
Look, it's not my fault the folks in South Pittsburgh slow their roll when they're driving.
Oh, man. I never got pulled over in South Pittsburgh, so I'm showing them love. I know I could have every time I've driven past their speed. 865-255-03. Let me get on over here to Facebook Live. Chip says being on board means you were off board at one time. I had never been off board. I've been upset, but never will be off board. I bleed, eat, and sleep Tennessee. Tommy Gibbons. What's up, Tommy? Says, in Waco, guys, Baylor's campus looks incredible. Mirroring their success, one day the Big Orange will be back and beef up its facilities. Ain't that crazy to hear?
That Baylor's nice?
To hear, like, for some folks it's crazy. For some folks, they understand. But there are a group of us that still think our facilities are superior to everybody else's. And it's not. It's good, but it's not superior. I mean, do you think people have sat around and said, oh, look at Tennessee's facilities? Let's not try to do anything better than that. Let's not upgrade ours. Well, in the last 20 years, other folks have upgraded theirs. And everybody has nice facilities now. Josh Brown says that they always making memes about Tennessee. I can't wait to be back on top. I know, man. Josh says, I still care about the Bulls, but just hard to watch this season. This season? Psh, how about every season? For the last 10 years, they've been hard to watch. They had one little stretch where, like, you had, Derrick Rose and Lou Alding and, like, Joakim Noah. But that was it, man. The Bulls was terrible.
And this season's kind of rubbed salt in the wound because you see, Tom Thibodeau, I think he's the NBA Coach of the Year, what he's done with that Knicks team. And Julius Randle deserves MVP consideration in my opinion. He's
most improved for sure.
Yeah, and should be on an All-NBA first team as well. But this year for the Bulls, kind of salt in the wound because Thibodeau has just been a miracle worker and done a tremendous coaching job with that Knicks team, and Derrick Rose has kind of had a resurgence. He's been solid the last couple of years, but it seems like he took it up a notch this year and had a really good year. So it's been salt in the wound for Bulls fans this year too, because the last time the Bulls were good was when they had Thibodeau, and wasn't it like a big debate when the Bulls fired Thibodeau? Like they didn't, like some fans didn't think that he should have been fired. Like they were having success and they fired him.
Yeah, because he's hard nosed.
Yeah,
no, he's hard. He's an old school coach. I mean, he really beat him down in practice. But you look at the Knicks defense. You look at what he's done with the Knicks, man. Tom Thibodeau's a damn good coach. Damn good coach. And John Paxson went to hire his boy, Fred Hoiberg, and got him from Iowa State. That was a damn disaster. Anyways, I don't care anymore.
That basketball game, we talked about the play-in tournament yesterday, and it being exciting or us liking it, and I still like it. But that basketball game last night, I did not even turn it on because by the time I even got a chance to turn it on, it wasn't even a game. How you get 144, 145 dropped on your head with the season on the line and get beat by 30? I hope tonight's game is better.
That was like Notre Dame playing Alabama.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes you have the championship game and you just go out there and you just lay an absolute dud in the biggest game of the season. You just lay a dud. It's like when Ohio State got slammed by Clemson in the college football semifinals, and then I think Ohio State did it to Clemson this past year. So like sometimes it just happens that way. But I watched the beginning of it, and when the Wizards got up about 15 to 18 points, my kids are like, "Hey, you want to watch that Meat Eater again?" So I turned on Netflix, and now I got my oldest and my middle kid watching Meat Eater with me. Now the youngest one,
I'm surprised
she wants to be a veterinarian, so whoo, well, to ease her in. I don't think she's gonna like the Netflix series as much as the older two. But the second kid, my middle kid, she like it a little too much.
A little concerning.
Yeah, it's a little concerning, man. Me and my oldest looked at each other when they shot a deer. My middle kid was like, "Woo, woo, woo, woo."
Like Tennessee just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I was like, "Dang, girl, why you so hyped?" I think she might want to be a hunter one day. Seriously, like my youngest one might be a veterinarian, and my middle one might be a hunter.
You're gonna have a family divided. Speaking of those house divided license plates, you're really gonna need one.
Yeah, one's gonna be working for PETA, the other one's gonna be a hunter. I'm gonna be on the hunter side, baby. Bring Daddy back some food, put on the smoker. You always were my favorite. Swain Event, be right back.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Good morning, Swain Event family. As you already know, I'm your go-to realtor when you are considering buying, selling, or investing in East Tennessee real estate. But did you know I can help all of you listeners in other parts of the country? No matter where you're listening from, there's a good chance I have several Keller Williams real estate partners in your area. I've developed relationships with realtors I know I can trust to help you with your needs. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Home service problems occur, even at the most inconvenient times, like during a health crisis. And Tiller is always here to help you 24/7. As people are social distancing and staying at home on workdays, it's an easier time to take care of home maintenance items that you feel are necessary. And we've put new safety precautions in place, like wearing gloves, avoiding physical contact, new sanitation protocols, and limiting time in your home. We're here for you.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Always remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
To end the week, we're sending you out with some positivity with Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks, irisnetworksusa.com. 90 days, no payment for business internet, high quality, reliable fiber internet and voice. All right, man, I'm going to try to do this Attaboy without letting the allergies get the best of me. Tony Wilson Taylor lost her son 5 years ago, but that didn't stop her from planning a sweet surprise for his 16th. Excuse me, let me start all over. That did not stop her from planning a sweet surprise for his May 16th birthday. A surprise that has since touched the hearts of thousands across the country. Wilson Taylor is from Indiana. She woke up May the 16th with plans to purchase a birthday cake for a stranger in honor of her late son, Tyler. So she called up to her local Kroger supermarket, arranged to pay for a local woman's cake, and then stopped by the bakery section to leave behind a card explaining her motive. Quote, "I just want to do something that will make my son proud and happy. It was supposed to be anonymous. I was not expecting the person who got my card to post it online. But that's exactly what happened. Carolyn Mick, the woman who eventually picked up the cake, was so moved by the card that she shared the photo of Wilson Taylor's note to a local Facebook group. It says, "Today is my son's 35th birthday, his 5th one in heaven. In his memory, I've paid for your cake. Please enjoy, make special memories, and hug your children and loved ones tight. My son loved cake," she added on the note. One of Wilson Taylor's friends eventually spotted the post on Facebook and recognized the names from the note and reached out to connect. After that, news of her sweet gesture spread like wildfire. Hundreds of Facebook users, too, were touched by Wilson Taylor's message. Quote, "This is beautiful and a wonderful day to honor someone." One person wrote as a commenter, "Now everyone is cherishing your son today. You are too good, Tony." Another one wrote, "Tyler is proud. You are his mom." I just want to share that today as we wrap up the week. And remember, as you check out the news and you check out social media and all you see is negativity, here's an example of how positivity can also be spread like wildfire, the same way negativity can be spread on social media. So that's my Attaboy for today. Just a really, really cool story. It's here on WAT.com. And if you want to go to it and check it out, the title is "Woman Pays for Stranger's Birthday Cake in Honor of Late Son."
WATE. I know where that's from.
Mm-hmm. Right here in Knoxville. So it happened in Indiana, but ATE picked it up here on their website. So it's really, really, really a cool story.
And happy birthday to Johnny Majors. Would have turned 86 today. Was born 86 years ago today. And how about Tennessee tennis? Somebody mentioned it earlier in the show. I think it was Rusty. Beat Georgia yesterday. That's always a good thing when Tennessee beats Georgia in anything. But they did so to advance to the Final Four. And Tennessee will play Baylor today at 2:00. And if Tennessee can knock off Baylor, they'll play for a national championship. It was cool to see some photos on Twitter of Rick Barnes and Danny White and Dondy Plowman and everybody going down, and Reed Sigmund checking out and supporting the tennis team. Apparently, Rick Barnes and the tennis coach Chris Woodward, I believe is his name. Forgive me for not being up to date on my tennis coaches.
I'm supposed to come in and save you and help you out.
Well, you were taking a drink. It sounded like you were chuckling. I thought you were laughing at me, not knowing the name of.
No,
it is Chris Woodruff. Look at me, I did know it. Apparently, Rick Barnes and he have established a really close friendship. So it was cool to see Rick Barnes down in Orlando at UCF watching Tennessee beat Georgia with Danny White and Dondy Plowman.
I love it. I love the coaches all having that harmony and loving up on each other and liking each other, because, man, it was really weird when those coaches decided to take that pay cut and Pruitt's staff said, nah, we good.
Man, and
nah, we good. I'm keeping my money.
And think of the money that Tony Vitello was about to lose out on, because he signed an agreement that waives all bonuses through like July. And he gets $5,000 for being named SEC Coach of the Year, which how does Tony only get a $5,000 bonus for winning SEC Coach of the Year?
It's because baseball, man. It's because baseball's not relevant.
I know.
In NCAA, you know.
I'd be curious to see what that bonus is at other schools, though, is what I guess I'm getting at. But won't be able to get that $5,000 bonus. He gets $10,000 bonus for being named National Coach of the Year by Baseball America.
Bro, that's terrible.
Or the American Baseball Coaching Association. And if Tony Vitello does not win the National Coach of the Year, the SEC Coach of the Year, something is absolutely wrong. I don't care that Dave Van Horn in Arkansas is about to go the entire season without losing a series. That is very impressive. What's more impressive is that Tony Vitello has Tennessee where it is right now and had the type of season that he had this year after picking up the program where it was 4 years ago. So Tony can't get that bonus. He gets a 4% bonus for making the SEC tournament. He gets a 12% bonus for hosting a regional as a top 16 seed. He would get a 16% bonus for winning the SEC regular season or SEC tournament, a 20% bonus for appearing in a super regional, 24% bonus for hosting a super regional as a top 8 seed, 28% for making the College World Series, 32% for winning the College World Series. All those things that I just mentioned, all of them except winning the SEC regular season is obtainable. And there's a good chance that he checks off a lot of those boxes, and he's not going to get a single bonus from any of that because he signed an agreement to waive his bonuses. I think it's in July. I don't know the exact date. It's like middle of the summer.
They'll take care of that. They'll
think
work
so?
that back. Yeah, I think they work that back in. Dude, those incentives in that contract sounds like someone who sells vacuum cleaners door to door. Those incentives are terrible. National Coach of the Year, $5,000 bonus.
$10,000, Swain.
Oh,
It's
$10,000?
$5,000 for
$10,000
SEC
for National Coach of the Year?
That's what I'm saying.
That's terrible.
I know.
That's terrible. You can sell 10 vacuum cleaners and get a $10,000 bonus. Golly. But they'll take, hey, when you do the right thing for the right reasons, karma will come back and reward you. It always happens. It always happens that way. The universe will reward you. And the universe will reward Tony Vitello. In this case, the universe is Danny White. He'll be good to go, man.
Imagine giving Josh Heupel $5,000 for winning SEC Coach of the Year or $10,000 for National Coach of the Year.
That's nothing. That is nothing. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. We hope you have a great weekend. 7 a.m. Monday morning. Hopefully we're talking about a big orange Tennessee baseball sweep over those cocks.
Beat those cocks.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Every time I play South Carolina in a sport, the kid comes out of us.
I will never grow up.
Of us all.
I'm so immature.
Oh, man. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. It's Friday. Get you some Dead End Barbecue. Don't worry about cooking. Go sit down. Go sit down in Dead End Barbecue or pick up. But what you don't have to do is dishes. Dead End Barbecue, let them take care of it for you today. Peace and love. We are out.